Hey,
Hi, you guys. Welcome.
wait, we did that in sync. That was cute.
Welcome to a new episode of Too Much with Shey
and Becca. How are y'all, guys? I just want to say, Shayla and I are low-key going through it, but we don't look like what we're going through.
Right. When you're not feeling good, dress up. Is that a thing? I don't know, but
nah, they say if you look good, you feel good, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, the sick bug finally got to me, so I am over here with my Viva Poru, the tissues that Rebecca recommended.
Girl, I'm telling y'all,
I got the whole 9 yards. I really thought I was gonna not get sick, but commuting will do that to you. The city, it was just
girl, that's how I got sick my second time. The New York got me. I was
yeah.
bad.
So if you hear me sniffling, my throat, the way I sound, I'm gonna be doing all the things, but I'm here. And if you guys are new, welcome. We really do appreciate you supporting us. And yeah, let's get into our episode.
I just want to say really quickly.
All right, go ahead.
I just want to say real quick. You see, Shayla is sick. She down bad. When I was sick and down bad, we still got up, did our podcast, did all the edits and everything. So if you want an excuse to not do something today, look at us. Let us be your example to just get up and do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get up and work. On that note, let us get into our weekly rundown.
What's happening? I went first last week. Go ahead.
Did I? Okay. I mean, did you? That's what I meant to say. Okay, so a lot happened this week. First, I'll start off by saying I know I talk so much ish about getting my very expensive curl cut. If you haven't noticed, please do. I finally got my curl cut. My hair is like, a bit shorter now. It has more like volume definition. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I feel like whenever I get my hair done, they don't use the same products that I use. So I kind of went there for them to do the cut. And so when I wash my hair and style it myself, I feel like it'll look better. But I still think that they did.
Nah, I think you look really good, like real cute, mama.
Thank you. So I did that. Number 2, I don't know if you guys remember in a few episodes back when I was talking about how UConn was going to play South Carolina and I thought that they were going to get swamped. Well, honey, they didn't. UConn actually won that game, and I was so surprised. So if that's not motivation, I don't know what is. It doesn't matter.
I was watching Paige's highlights.
Yes. Okay. Also, AZ had her highest scoring game. So it doesn't matter what other people believe you. I honestly think it's better when you're an underdog because you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because South Carolina had not hype, they 1,000% are a great team. But you probably feel like, oh, they play in a weak conference, so you feel like you don't have to show you 100%. So regardless, do your big one.
Honestly, I feel like it also makes the win a bunch much sweeter when you are the underdog because everybody had you.
That was plotting against me.
Okay.
So I have been on the hunt for a white purse, and I've gone, you guys know I'm a TJ Company's girl. And so I finally found the perfect white purse. Isn't it?
Oh, that's mad cute. Where you go?
The price, honey. The price.
I want to say $75.
Girl, and I want to show the inside too. You guys see it has I was telling Rebecca, I cannot stand the purse that doesn't have closure because no one about to just dig into my purse like that. Absolutely not. Look at the price. This is why I love Marshall's down.
Oh, wow.
$30.
You know what's crazy? I am looking for a white purse. I had a white purse, but the buckle that was on it, mind you, I bought it from Rainbow. So I didn't expect it to be there should be some type of longevity to it.
Right.
But I was at the Chris Brown concert and the whole buckle fell off. I said, oh my.
So this is why I love TJ Maxx because you do get a bang for your buck. And the last thing I'll talk about the week is bus etiquette. Like I mentioned, I take the bus to go to the city. And I cannot stand, Rebecca could call me, anyone could call me. If I'm on the bus, I am not going to pick up, even if I have my AirPods on, because I just think it's extremely disrespectful for people to just be having full-blown conversations while they're on the bus. This lady, on my way there, this lady was having a conversation. Her phone was like on speaker, and she's just chopping it up. And I'm like looking at her to see if she got the hint. No. And then on my way back to Jersey, this lady is watching a video, and her, like, it was like the video was for the both of us. I said, girl, can you please, is that normal? How do you feel about that? About bus etiquette?
No. I feel like as I get older, I hate unnecessary noises. And I also I feel like also COVID has kind of like implemented this like unknown rule that like when you go on like, I mean, obviously the bus and like when it's packed and stuff like that, you kind of got no choice, but don't sit next to me. Especially if you see like there's other seats. Why would you sit next to me? And I feel like I feel like that's another thing of etiquette. Like, bro, there's mad seats in the back. Like, you don't need to sit next to me.
Well, honestly, I'm not sitting in the back unless I have to.
I mean, I'll go to the back. We don't need to sit next to each other.
Right.
And I think also there's been times where I've been on the train and there was a dude literally listening to music like this and he rapping Tupac. I'm like,
girl, mind you, every bus has a sign that says you can't eat, you can't have loud stuff. People do not listen to none of that. The last thing I want to do before I wrap it up, you guys know Benija Laney is my favorite New York Liberty player, and she is now a part of Unrivaled. And on her first game, she dropped like 23 points, including the game winner for the Laces team. So that's my girl. I love her. And she should have been there from the beginning, but I guess better late than never. Rebecca, how about you?
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead. Shout out to her. Shayla made us go see her and everything. So shout out to you, sis. So let us get started into my week. So I'm gonna start with some like, real good news. So I had ordered this, like, if you remember from our Christmas episode, Shayla had bought me like the whole products of the streets, like from 1 to 5. So and her name is, girl, why am I blanking?
Those are books, by the way. If you didn't know.
Right, books. And her name is Bowser, right? So Miss Bowser had released another book, but it's not like a part of like the collection like 1 through 5. Like this was an additional book with like one of the additional characters that we get to get more perspective on his relationship with the new girl that he's about to get with. Girl, I ordered that thing back in September, but Miss Bowser, you are doing your big one, and I'm not shading you in no way. Like, you are doing this by yourself on your own and shipping this stuff out. So I didn't get it until yesterday, and so it's February. It's been some months. Girl, I am so geeked to read this. Okay, doctor's order. Girl, and then I'm like, oh, she took so long to like send this or whatever like that. So you would think you were just gonna get the book. Nah, I don't have the shot glass, but the shot glass, so like the whole thing is that he's a doctor. So like she sent stuff with it, and I was so geeked. Like there's a shot glass that's like in the shape of like a prescription bottle, but she also sent like a pen, some markers if you want to mark the book, a thank you, a card with my membership. If you read the book, you know. She also sent this little sticker that says professional bookworm and other stuff. And where's the thing I wanted to show you? Oh, right here. She also sent this like highlighter that's in the shape of a syringe. I love that. Cute. And I love this one right here. It said, spread them pages. You can't see it. Hold up. Spread them pages. Okay. It's the fingers for me. It's the
if fingers. You know.
Okay, wait. There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm bringing that when we go on our cruise. That's going to be my cruise book. So I'm just going to have to wait a few more weeks. But what's more for a few more weeks compared to the months that I had to wait?
I love that. I think that's why, don't get me wrong, supporting small owned businesses could either go right or left, but I really do appreciate when a small business
takes time and like the packaging and everything like that. And like I won't lie to you and say like, oh, like I wasn't like impatient a little bit, but she kept open communication, especially like since I'm a part of like her Facebook group, like on whatever. And like she's been giving updates like, hey, like I just got done with December's orders, I just got done with September's orders. Like, she's been communicative with it. So I appreciate that. I'm excited to read it. And so other things that I really want to mention. Okay, so as I go through my years of dating, I'm getting older and definitely realizing a lot of different things. And I feel like something that's like extremely underrated and not highlighted enough is like a person who takes initiative, as someone who can like say, hey, like I want to take you out on this day, like let's do, like we don't have to sit here and go through these little back, like I'm not your texting buddy. I'm really not. And it's like it gets to a point for me, it's like if after 2 weeks you don't show any type of initiative of wanting to see me, in my mind you become a friend, you become a pen pal, and I really am not emotionally invested in you at all. So like these little compliments that you're giving, yeah, that's cute, cool. Oh yeah, go ahead, say all that. But in my head, you really just here for me to drop. Like
And
that's
especially, that's me to take my medicine. Especially if you're not even, I'm a big visual person. Like my friends make fun of me because anytime you're gonna start something, I'm like, let me see. Let me see. So if not only if we're texting, but you're not sending me a voice memo or FaceTime or a phone call, girl,
right.
it's
Like
time
at
to
that
wrap it
point,
up.
you're really a pen pal. And like honestly, I have no vested interest in what you're like. Yeah, we could text, we could be cool and stuff like that. But like I'm really not putting no thoughts into you, for real, for real. And also, if you can't actually have a conversation with me, like you can't actually speak to me. I feel like when it comes to communication, people a lot like to assume a lot that it's just like talking, but no, there's a level of active listening. Like you need to be able to actively listen and be able to respond to the points that I am stating. You know what I'm saying? Now that's the dating debacle. Also, wanted to mention, I starting to realize like we talk about how delusional Trump supporters are, but I'm realizing like diehard Drake fans, y'all are just as delusional. And it's very concerning. Like Shayla and I posted a video and we were talking, what were we even talking about? We were talking about like
About
the album,
his latest, the Give
his
Me a Hug
latest
song.
album, and how like we don't want to hear you a part of no rap beef and don't even mention it or nothing like that. And then people talking about some, oh, y'all was never Drake fans to be. Who said that? We just said we don't want to hear nothing about the rap beef because clearly you are not taking the rap beef as rap beef. You are trying to take it into court.
Yes, I think that's so, like, we're not asking for much. We're just saying if you're not a part of like the way street works, like the way that street beef and rap beef works, then just don't even get involved. That's all
Exactly.
I'm saying.
And then you have somebody's like, oh, two people who aren't from the street. Sir, are you? Like, what are you
Girl,
talking about? Like, it's unwritten rules and unwritten understandings. Like, but
right.
he clearly wasn't getting that. And my last thing, if you have an ex and you are officially done and you want to move on, man, take a page out of Cardi B's book. She went out with Stefan Diggs on Valentine's Day, and Offset is upset and crashing out.
Mm.
Girl, after like these videos were released of him, like of Cardi B getting out the car with Stefan Diggs, this man gonna post a whole TikTok video basically saying you gonna have to fuck on 10 dudes to get over me. Sir, uncalled for, unnecessary. You crashing out, you spiraling.
Girl, one thing about Cardi B, she knows how to match energy. Cause when she was head over heels, it was my man, my man, my man. But she forgive this man way too many times for my liking. But I feel like everyone gets to that point, you know what I'm saying, of like
Yeah.
tolerance. And she's so above that, like she's past tolerating that now she's like, oh, I'm over you. And now all of a sudden Offset want to act like he care. Although he's talking about some like, oh, I don't care about you. Clearly the way you're moving, you do care and you
Like,
are hurt. And I'm
like
happy for her. Period.
just let the girl move on. Like my thing is what I don't understand. I know there's gonna be some people who are like, oh well, she was fucking on her dude while he was. Y'all
How
care
many
about
girl he was on?
like
Next.
how many people was he dipping and dopping out of? Like
Right.
y'all be worried about the wrong things, but all this to say,
Mm-hmm.
if you are done with the situation, move on. Like regardless of the crash out that person may be having, that's none of your business. Do you, because at the end of the day, your happiness is what's most important above everybody else's.
That part. So on that note, let's talk about life. And let's talk about what is happening. I know many people don't want to talk about it, but guess what? We do have to talk about it because I mean, if you live in America, we live here and it's going to affect us. So, let's talk about Trump and Elon Musk, honey. Let me tell you something. The pair has been going on
They
a
locked in.
firing spree. No, they really locked in. They truly are. The pair have been going on a firing spree. They're pushing out federal employees through layoffs, buyouts, and agency closures. And their reasoning for all of this, they're claiming that all of this is to downsize the government and cut spending, right? Trump made up, right? He made a department called Department of Government Efficiency, which a lot of people call it like Doge, right? And he he selected Elon Musk to be the head of it. And Elon Musk, no one elected this man to be in an official position, right? So when Doge first not became known, but like when people talked about Doge, they saw it as like a joke. Like, oh, you know, he has no governing power. No one elected him. It's all jokes. But honey, Elon Musk has been moving like he is the president, honey. The president. I'm going to show you guys the graphics. These are all the organizations that have been affected, right? Like he has fired people from the IRS. You guys know the IRS? It's tax season, right? According to I believe I got this from Reuters or ABC. About 6,000 employees are about to be cut from the IRS during tax season, right? He's cutting people from the Department of Education, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Energy and Consumer Financial. It's all of these government agencies that, like, for us, it might be like, oh, I don't care. But the government is already slow. If you've ever had to like do anything that is correlated to the government, your behind will be on the phone for 80 quadrillion times. They'll ask you to email them. It'll take them 90 years to get back to you. So how do you think that this is going to benefit the consumer, aka us, right? He also is the Department of Health and Human Services. He's also trying to he has cut people from there, about 700 employees. And the thing about all of this, it's very frustrating because we tried to tell y'all. This is a photo that Trump posted after he announced that, like, the congestion pricing in, if you're from the tri-state area, you know, congestion pricing was like extra charges that were being made if you went cross through certain streets in New York City, right? So according to him, he ended that and he posted this photo. So to the left, you see him at the bottom left saying, "Long live the king."
Was that Elon Musk?
Well, the one to the right is what Time did, a cover that Time published, if you see at the top left, in February of this month. And so he kind of like gagged that one with like his own made up one. So he's over here calling himself the king. And some people might look at it as jokes, but I feel like Donald Trump is getting away with so much. It is actually scary.
Honestly, and it's like, I know we could go back and forth about the same thing, but I'm like, honestly, like, from what you started with, we've been saying this was gonna happen,
right?
So to me, it's not to say like I don't feel bad, but I really don't like feel bad for the people, like, and yes, this is gonna ultimately have an effect on us. But the people who look forward to that tax money, and this is about to be like an even bigger issue for you, it's like, if you voted for him and you are potentially going to be affected, I don't feel bad for you.
So how do you, to that point, how do you feel about these people that did vote for Trump and are like, well, I voted for Trump, I didn't vote for Elon Musk?
Elon Musk was a Trump decision. So you can't, my thing is, right, when you support someone like him, you can't pick and choose when you want to be, oh, I'm the biggest fan of him, and then, oh, now, like, I can't believe he's doing, no, because it's like, if you are going to vote for somebody and you see the things that they have been saying and the things that people have been telling you he is going to implement, and you choose to be clueless, or you feel like you won't be affected, I can't, like, you sitting here talking about, oh, well, I voted for Trump. I didn't vote for Elon Musk. He been on the platform with Trump.
And he donated hella money to the campaign. Let me show this video. This is him at CPAC, which is like a conservative conference that happened on Thursday. This is him. He's with a chainsaw. He's with a chainsaw. It's like essentially like making fun or poking fun at the fact that he's cutting down like these federal employees, like, because the whole thing of Doge, of the program that he was selected to not program, I don't even know what you call it. He's making fun of the fact that, like, I'm cutting down federal employees' job essentially. And this, like, it's so weird. Like, I don't know about all the tech bro people, but Elon Musk is very weird. And to the point that you were saying, Rebecca, that, like, I think that this notion that, oh, I didn't vote for Elon Musk, I voted for Trump, the writing was already on the wall. People, Elon Musk, especially like the last few months before we were able to vote, Elon Musk was front and center. And I remember, if you go back to one of our episodes, I was always asking, where is JD Vance? Because Elon Musk was front and center at everything. When they were at MSG, he was there talking. And so
to this day, I don't see JD. I don't know where he at.
He's doing something, but clearly Elon Musk is the one that is taking over, and he's doing all of this, saying that, oh, we're trying to trim the government and like make sure that we're saving money. But it's like, no, if you guys are drinking that Kool-Aid, I don't know what to tell you.
But my thing is, right, they keep saying we're trying to save money. We're trying to save money. We're trying to save money. I think, like, and like, this is like on a real serious tip. Like, I need y'all to like really lock in and like look at some of what government is spending their money on and investing their money in, and figure out if the IRS is really the bigger issue, or the fact that we are sitting here causing all these issues with all these different countries for like border control, when the soldiers that these countries are saying that they're putting in place there, they were already in place there. Like, we did all this with Canada to get extra support at the border and stuff like that, when they already had given us the basically the same amount. So it's like,
yeah,
like, why? It's like we are wasting our resources, our time, and our energy on problems that aren't even problems, and creating problems in other places that didn't need to be a problem.
So on that note, let's talk about food stamps, because now that's the new thing that they are trying to villainize. Like, who would have thought that food stamps would be an issue? So if you don't know food stamps, honey, food stamps is where it's at, honey. This little card, when you see this little card to the left, at least that's how it looks like in New Jersey. It's a SNAP program, so Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that is given to people that, you know, are from low-income families, and you're able to purchase food for your family, right? So now that, as I've mentioned in prior episodes, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm sick and I forgot to charge my laptop. So the latest thing is now that what's his face? Robert F.
Kennedy.
Right. Hold on.
Jr.
So let me backtrack. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right, the newly confirmed Health and Human Services Secretary, and Brooke Rollins, who's the new Agriculture Secretary, have both signaled that they favor stripping sugary drinks, candy, and more from SNAP, right? The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that, you know, helps people from low-income family be able to buy food and things for their family, right? So like I said, the Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, she said, quote, when a taxpayer is putting money into SNAP, are they okay with us using their tax dollars to feed really bad food and sugary drinks to children who perhaps need something more nutritious, right? So this has been sparking a lot of conversations on whether SNAP or food stamps should cover sugary drinks or just like things that are not considered nutritious. And I just want to cover all the notes so we could just spend time talking about it. And so one high profile figure that commented on this is Adam Housley. I think that's how you pronounce his name. If you don't know who he is, essentially he's Tamara Mowry's husband from Sisters and Sisters, right? So he quote tweeted a tweet talking about this new initiative from Snap, and he's like, quote, as a kid who grew up in neighborhood grocery stores since I was 5, I cannot tell you how many times I saw people come in and buy crap food for their kids with food stamps, then open the wallet and use cash for liquor, beer, wine, and cigarettes. Then there were those who would repeatedly buy a lemon or lime, get the change, walk out the door, throw them away, and do it again until they had enough change to buy cigarettes or alcohol. As a kid, it pissed me off because there are some people who could really use the help, and then there are these others working the system. So, Rebecca, take the stage.
The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that they're saying, I wonder how taxpayers feel about their money being used to give children sugary snacks and foods and stuff like that. Priorities. How can you say you give a damn about children now, but children go to school every day in America, and the potential for them to get their head, like a bullet to go through their brain, is not y'all's first concern? Y'all don't want to put investments in that. Y'all don't want to sit there and look at that and be like, oh my gosh, like maybe we really need to fix something. No, you worried about the Coca-Cola that's in the child's hand. Like, be for real, right? So when Shayla sent me this, right now, if you know Tamara and her man, like, people have always compared their relationship to her sister Tia and Corey, right? Mm-hmm. So the reason why there was always a comparison is because Tia married a black man, and Tamara married
a white man,
right? This right, and so now people on TikTok are calling her Tamaga, and that's why I keep messing up her name, because I've been laughing about this all day. But Tamara, she ended up posting something on social media talking about something, I love my family. Like, after he made this post, she ended up posting like a post, like, because people are like, you're talking about this, about food stamps and everything like that, and you got a whole African-American woman as your wife. Like,
to that point, though, I do want to make it clear that not only black people, there's a lot of white people that are on food stamps.
Exactly.
Like, regardless of race, it's just low income people as a whole.
Right. But it's like the snaps, well, for Jersey, snaps, like food stamps and stuff were created for those who don't have the income to sit there and put food on the table every single day. Right. So it's like, I think with this whole, what's her name? What's his name? Alex?
Adam,
right? Adam. So when Shayla sent me this, the first thing I said, I was like, first of all, as a child, I know damn well you are not worried about grown-up issues like that. You really chatting out the mouth, right? And then also, what people don't understand is that when you do have food stamps, there's certain restrictions. Like, you can't buy this item, you can't buy these items. Like, there's certain things that you aren't able to purchase. That's the first problem. Second, the bag of chips is always going to be cheaper than the lettuce. Like, it's always like, my thing is, right, we're attacking the one thing, but we need to be focused on the other things that come with it. So healthy items are not affordable. The amount of healthy food options are not presented, especially in these low income areas. Like, we are not attacking the first issue. We're automatically just going to demonize one thing and focus like, oh, junk food is hurting our communities. Okay, but why are y'all putting they are feeding the communities with these low income people all this type of different junk food? So talk about that. Y'all not talking about that. Y'all sitting there focusing on this next problem and not focusing on the main problem.
So for me, I have several thoughts. I don't want to say a product of food stamps, but I did have food stamps a majority of my, growing up. I had food stamps, and I remember, like, I would look forward to every Friday because I would be able to get, like, I'm a big ice cream girl, and I've always been that way. So, like, on Fridays, my mom would allow me to get, like, that ice cream. So I think it is very disheartening that people think that food is a privilege. No. It should be is that what are you understanding what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be a privilege. Like, everyone should have a right to eat good food. And a lot of people make fun of me because they're like, oh, Shayla, you're so picky, and you only like, your Dominican food. And you know why? It's because I couldn't afford to go out and eat and try different foods, right? So I am stuck with the palate that I was raised on, which is my Dominican foods, my rice, my beans, my all of that.
But
And
that's
now that
also
I'm
like
older,
that's also a type of luxury too, because there's some people who don't have like those cultural roots and they can't like yeah, they gotta take beans out the can, like, you know.
yeah, so I think it is actually so, like I said, disheartening that people think that food is a privilege. I think that it does not matter. Kids are kids, right? These are the same people that talk about so much about how they care about family and how we should just bring kids into the world left, right, that we don't want no abortion, none of that. But then there's also the people that want to restrict rights from people. Who cares if a kid is getting you know, candy? Who cares if they're drinking a Capri Sun? Because guess what? Like Rebecca said, those are the things that where you will get your bang for your buck, right? Like growing up, we don't have Whole Foods and Trader Joe's around Patterson. Girl, we got the Seatown, the food fairs, and they don't have organic options. They don't have the grass-fed milk. They don't have the pasteurized eggs, right? Like they just have the stuff that's regular.
And even the produce that is there, like the times where I do go to like different towns and stuff like that to pick stuff up for my grandma, like why are all the tomatoes bruised? Why is the lettuce basically like browning? Like these places, yes, like the type of conditions y'all leave these places in, y'all make people not want to buy those options. Of course, I'm not gonna buy browning lettuce. I'm gonna go for the bag of chips that's sealed. Like y'all don't like, oh my gosh, it starts from the very beginning, right? So even with like this idea of, oh, we like all these people in low income communities are just going to be eating junk food, fast food, and stuff like that. Y'all have literally pushed these into these communities. Y'all have literally caused this to be a part of the cycle of things to like basically put in someone's diet. Like we don't talk about the amount of chemicals that goes into all the meat products that we have. We don't talk about all the different preservatives that we have and everything. And y'all are so worried about like junk food. Talk about the roots. Even the natural food that we have here is like made up with chemicals and all these different preservatives, which is why when you go to other countries, everything tastes better. Everything look better.
Yeah. And also it's like telling people that only if you earn a certain amount of money, you deserve to have sweets and a cake and candy. Like, oh, I could only have chocolate if I'm not on food stamps. Like I think it's all ridiculous. And if you really cared about the well-being of these kids, we would make school lunch free for everybody. I remember I had to pay a good little, I know it's not a lot of money, but the fact that I even had to pay 10, 15 cents to get the raggedy meal that I got at school is in itself like ridiculous. It should be free. If you really care about kids' health, you should, you know what I'm saying? If you care so much about these vegetables and all of these things, all right, open up the Whole Foods close to where we from. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta drive 20 minutes to find a Whole Foods. There
And
is
that's
no Whole
another
Foods in
thing.
Patterson.
And like that's another thing. Some people don't have that like you like the transportation issue. Like you don't have like a bus that's gonna automatically take you to the nearest Whole Foods or the Trader Joe's or nothing like that. Nah, but you got a bus that can take you to the nearest like what like McDonald's, Burger King, anything
Girl, we
like
don't even need transportation for that. The McDonald's is at every other block.
that.
There's a
Yeah, bus
McDonald's.
11, bus 11.
Right, in el 11 no vamos. So I just wanted to talk about that because I think it is very infuriating that now they're even trying to supervise what kids eat. Like, please. And at the end of the day, people are always gonna find a way to eat the junk food. So you thinking that you're restricting is gonna make it better? It's not. People are still gonna find a way to do it.
And
Then
honestly, I just want to say this last thing really quickly.
Mhm.
I'm not really trying to listen to nobody who sounds like a deconstructing McDonald's box. Like you just like whenever I hear Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talk, I'm like, sir, like I don't even want to listen to you. Your voice box sound real
To
destructive.
be fair, he has some sort of health
Okay, so
something.
he need to focus on his own health before he try to supervise anybody else's health.
All right. Well, on that note, let's talk about someone else who we could barely understand, but he has a whole lot to say about people. Okay. So, the last thing before we get into our fun topics, I know we've been hard hitting, but y'all got to stay locked in, and that's what we're here for. Okay. Immigration. You guys know Donald Trump, before he got into office, he said he was going to crack down on immigration. He said everybody out. And that's really the timing that he's been on. So I'm not surprised. He said what he said, and he's been doing it. So Donald Trump's border czar, which essentially is like, I literally had to Google, what is a czar? They be using all these big words for what? Essentially, is someone that like advises Trump on all his immigration stuff, right? He came for AOC, who's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because she was, talking about on her social media about like, here are the rights that you should know as an immigrant to kind of like help, or if like there was an ICE raid where you work, whatever. At this time, I think they were like big on Chicago ICE raids. So she posted a video just saying like, here are your rights and here are the things to know. And girl, this triggered Donald Trump's border czar. Take a listen to what he had to say, honey.
Who's directing a lot of these ICE operations nationally, etc. He went on TV practically crying. This dude was whining his ass off because ICE went into the city of Chicago, and Chicago had prepared for them. Their mayor and local elected officials who were solid on this issue, they educated the city on their legal rights.
For more, let's welcome in the person that she was referencing there, Trump administration border czar Tom Homan. Tom, good to see you. I know you've been asked this question before, but I don't care. How do you respond to that? But what do you make of that an elected official is saying that kind of thing?
First of all, I think she's, I won't go after her on
Tom, please
TV
please do. Say what's on your mind. It's a holiday.
Look, she's the dumbest congresswoman ever elected to Congress, and she proves that every day. And look, bottom line is, I can't believe any member of Congress, Republican, Democrat, Independent, would want to educate criminal illegal aliens who are in the country illegally, been convicted of a violent crime, and have been ordered removed by an immigration judge after due process at great taxpayer expense. You got a congressman or congresswoman that does not want ICE to do the job that Congress has mandated them to do and funds them to do. So she doesn't want, if she doesn't want ICE to enforce the laws they enacted, and what the hell is Congress doing? They can spend their time doing better things rather than writing laws they don't want us enforced. President Trump and me have been clear from day one. We're concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. She can call education and constitutional rights all she wants, but we all know what she's doing. She's out there telling people how to evade enforcement, how to evade ICE arrest. And again, the most dangerous are the illegal aliens in the country, giving them heads up. And I'll say it again, I hope she's not educating the next murderer of a college nursing student, or not educating the next illegal alien who's going to burn a woman alive on a subway.
Please. First of all, I hate when people call immigrants illegal aliens, like they're not humans, like they're not people, which is exactly what they want to do when they call them illegal aliens. So they kind of like other them. But Rebecca, take the stage.
So when Shayla sent me this video, I was like, first off, this is my first time seeing it in its full entirety, because when Shayla sent me this, I said, girl, I had to click out because I'm sorry, Mr. Mumbles. Like, you sound like you chewing on cotton balls. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then y'all be so worried about DEI. Y'all got this man over here mumbling on this whole little platform. That's a DEI hire if you needed to see one. Like, that's one right there, right? Like, sir, you could barely form a proper sentence without me looking at, huh? I shouldn't have to struggle to understand what you're trying to say. Okay, so y'all were mad at her for telling people what they should know about their rights. America was built on rights. America was built on having a freedom or idea of freedom, freedom, right? So it's like, why are y'all mad that she's trying to inform people on their rights? She didn't say, commit any crime you can, and if they try to arrest you, baby, this is what you got to say. She didn't say that. She didn't say none of that. She said, these are the rights that you need to know, that people can't just walk up to you and do this, X, Y, and Z. But y'all are upset because she did that. She's trying to inform people on the rights that they do have when they come to this country that forefathers have put in place. but y'all are trying to break this down. So when Shayla sent me this also, I asked Shayla, I was like, I really want to understand what people's problem is when it comes to like immigrants. Like, why are y'all so pressed on that, right? And Shayla, would you like to share the response that you gave me?
Yeah, I think people think that immigrants, migrants are the only people that use drug and commit crimes.
And it's like, my whole thing is, first off, your president is a whole felon. Let's forget that though, right? Okay. 2, your own father be snorting crack out of a prostitute's asshole, and you be worried about what? Like, please be for real. My thing is, right, when it is something that is deemed unacceptable, y'all need to realize people are going to find a way to get it anyway. Immigrants are not the only people who are drug suppliers and drug users. That's literally not the case. Like, the amount of white people I've seen at college parties sitting there snorting cocaine like this is just a regular little sugar pop is crazy. It's like y'all try to put like these negative narratives onto a group of people or groups of people just so that we can find another way to diminish them and look at them as even more than less than the way we treat them. And it's like, why do we have to continuously go through this same cycle and the same cycle trying to repeat the same narrative when some of us really understand that it's not true? Are y'all that?
That's the thing. People don't. Because I feel like the fact that Donald Trump was able to win again, number one, it's because racism is alive and well. You cannot tell me if everything was because of prices and jobs, because the prices are higher than ever. And don't get me started on the jobs. The jobs, if anything, they're firing people, honey. So there you go. For all the people that voted for him for that. And also, oh, go ahead.
Now, I just wanted to mention, so like on Valentine's Day, last week we were talking about, oh my God, we love Valentine's Day, this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. You got Trump talking about roses are red, violets are blue, come here illegally and we will deport you. Sir.
It's actually so infuriating. They also posted like ASMR of like deporting people. And again, I want to make this extremely clear. If you think that the only people that are committing crimes are immigrants and migrants, you need to check yourself, because that is not true. They're trying to sell you that lie. And I guess maybe if you live in a predominantly white community, you might feel like that is the truth, but step outside your box, step outside your bubble, because as someone that lives in a majority minority community, that is not the case. A lot of people that do the hardcore drugs, like Rebecca mentioned, are white, because you know what? They could probably get away with it. And they do come to these towns, right? Like Patterson, to get their hardcore drugs. And then they go back to their white, nice town. So then we get in trouble, but y'all looking, sitting real pretty in your white neighborhoods. So I think it's actually so infuriating how when white people commit crimes, it's like, oh, well, no, they had a tough childhood, they baby it all. But when it's anybody, regardless of if you have papers or not, they're still humans. They still have a life. I saw this one story about like an 11-year-old girl who committed suicide because people were bullying her, talking about oh, your family is going to get deported. You don't understand how crazy and upsetting that is. Regardless of how you may feel, you think you better because you have papers. People are still people. White people commit crimes. A lot of these massive shootings have been white people, and we're not like, oh, well, of course they did that because they're white. But if it's a person of color, they're definitely treated differently. And it is just so infuriating how this White House has, kind of like made a spectacle of all these immigrant I can't even think of the word.
Deportations.
Yes, of all these immigrant deportations. And I hope people like touch grass and understand that like immigrants and migrants are not the like boogeyman that Trump is trying to make you believe that they are.
And I just want to make this quick point really quickly. So when I was on TikTok earlier, there was this white dude who basically got on there. He was just like, a lot of y'all are racist. And like, if you ever say like, oh, I'm not racist, like when you hear people of color saying Black Lives Matter or like Black love and stuff like that, and you automatically feel like a sense of like anger, it's like, that is your racism. Like that right there, that anger that you feel, like that little spike, like little sprick of like tension that you automatically get, that is racism. why do you feel like you need to be a part of everything? Why do you feel like you need to be the center of focus in other people's lives when they are trying to celebrate something that's specifically for them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you
you think like there's not space for all of us. It's like, oh, they're coming to take over. It's like, well, no, we're just trying to be a part of the table, but you can sit there too. But they feel like intimidated that if we're a part of the table, we're gonna push them out. Well, Buki, we're not like y'all. Unlike y'all think there's only space for white people at the table, and that's legal tea.
And that's really why people always say, like, white people do not want Black people, minorities, period, to treat them like and their ancestors have treated our ancestors. Because if that was the case, oh baby.
And this note is for Deanna. We know we love you. This is not for all white people. The white people that know and get it. I have white friends that I know they rock with me. This is for the if the shoe fit, wear it. That's what I'm trying to say. We have our good white people. They know what's up. Let's get into our social corner.
Yes, welcome to our social corner where we just talk about some of the things that have been trending on social or things that we've seen that we think will be an interesting thing to talk about. We don't want to spend like 20 whole minutes talking about each thing. Will be like those 20 minutes we'll divide it into 5 different things. So Shayla, introduce us.
So number one, I'm sure you guys have seen this all around because that's why it's in our social corner. Asaprocky was found not guilty of firing a handgun at a former friend. So he avoided possible years in prison. I have been debating whether we wanted to cover the story or not. I felt like the whole lawsuit was kind of like an ex-friend that saw their friend was growing up in fame and money, and he wanted to cash out on that. That's how I felt about it. Clearly, he was found not guilty. But the thing that took social media by storm was his reaction when he was read the not guilty verdict. Let's watch it.
Case number BA 508142-01. We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, not guilty of
not get the audience. Or nice audience.
Hold down. Has to be
Period. I don't know why there you couldn't see, but he was going to hug Rihanna and his family. Rihanna has been there, during the last few days of the trial. She brought her kids. Some people felt like she shouldn't have done that. And so I'm happy. I'm happy that he's gonna be outside. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, when I saw this video, I'm like, first of all, like, if you just avoided years in prison and you get to stay with your family, like, because I saw some people be like, Dad, he didn't have to do all that. But no, like, if I was in court and I could have been facing like 10 years, 5 years, I don't care if it was 2 years, and you tell me I'm off, like I'm not guilty, baby, I might jump and hug the judge. Like,
and I feel like people thought that he might have been found guilty because like he was saying that it wasn't a real gun, but all the evidence was showing that it was a real gun. But at the end of the day, the jury felt like there wasn't enough evidence to like find him guilty, so they found him not guilty. I'm just happy for Rihanna and the kids. At the end of the day, the person that was allegedly like grazed with the bullet, he's all right. He's good. He's outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like someone died. It was just, an argument happened. He was supposedly like hit with like a gun, a bullet, but he's good. Everyone's side is great.
I just want to say really quickly to the people who are bothered that Rihanna brought their children to court. They're like, court isn't a place for children. Y'all act like this was like a sexual assault case or like a murder like case or something like that. Like, that's not what it was at all. So it's just like, I was sitting there, I'm like, what are y'all like doing? Like, what are y'all mad about? But whatever. So the next thing we want to talk about is Deshae Frost. baby, if you've been on TikTok, if you've been on Instagram, you have been seeing this issue that's been happening. So let me give y'all some background details really quickly, okay? So Deshae Frost was facing a lot of criticism after a prank he played during his live stream. If you don't know, he's a Twitch streamer as well. So it all went wrong. In a viral clip, he approached a woman in Target with inappropriate comments while she was on the phone with her mother. So despite her rejection, he like persisted and was leading, like it was kind of like it led to a confrontation with her brother, right? So social media users basically reacted to the prank, calling it inappropriate and questioning why he was making the woman uncomfortable, and basically why he was considering it to be like something that was funny, and like it really wasn't. So following the backlash, he ended up getting banned from Twitch. Like Twitch had basically said like he was banned, but it wasn't announced if that was the correlation for it. But people are speculating like how you just did this prank and then you got banned. And like this has been his second ban, and since then he has been reinstated back onto Twitch, and he recently issued an apology. So I'm gonna show you guys the first video of the incident, and then I'll show you guys the apology, and then we'll give our thoughts and everything, okay? So let me play
I bet you look good as fuck on some real shit. Like, I'll fuck you right now. With your mom? Oh, I'm so sorry. But can I get your number and shit? We can get some food? No? Like, get some food and shit? Like, vibe out and shit? No, you not fuck with it? Like, but bitch, you look good as fuck. I'll fuck you right now, though. No? All right, then. I can't, bro. I'm doing
We could just show her the picture, girl.
How much you just said?
She ain't even answering.
Who?
One at the right here?
For her number?
Nah, you said more than that. You look so good, I'll fuck you right now. But
Bro,
that's
we
sexual
streaming,
harassment.
bro. I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm saying.
Oh, wait.
Like, I'm saying, though, bro. Like,
It's just a
on some real
prank.
Shit, we just prank like
But
on
you can't be
some
pranking with people like that. That's disrespectful.
But I'm saying if she
Some
would have
people
said
don't take that shit.
then that's cool. She would have said that. I
She
would have
was on the
respected
phone with
that.
my mom.
I feel that.
Oh, that's
but
your
I'm saying she
brother?
would've
Your
said that.
sister. Yes,
Nah, I
sir.
feel that. I feel that. I respect
You
that.
feel me?
But I'm saying on some real shit. Like, she was saying, I feel that. On some real shit.
But bro.
Not for that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful and
But it's
shit.
disrespectful.
Nah, I feel you, bro.
On everything, I'm gonna be real with you.
No, I feel you. Like,
Do you want us to apologize to you?
No, I
Did
gotta
make you
I'm
feel
serious.
better?
It's not even apologizing.
Listen,
it's the
I got a
simple
sister.
fact that,
I got a
you're a
sister.
grown ass man,
No, listen,
right?
I got a sister too, bro. I
Listen.
feel you, but I'm saying like.
That's sexual harassment. Some people take that as like real serious, and your ass will get in trouble.
No, I feel that. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I don't mean no disrespect or
I'm just
anything.
telling you
I'm just. You know, I'm sure I don't want your sister or anything.
Yeah, no, that's not
I'm
my
just
girl.
vibing.
That's my little sis.
No,
I'm
I
just
feel
telling
you.
straight
No,
up.
I'm saying on some real shit. Like,
I'm just telling you straight up. That shit is
well, I apologize, bro. I'm not trying to
No,
be.
I'm not touching you.
No, I'm not touching you. I'm saying.
No,
I'm
just
saying
Relax,
like,
relax.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm saying though, bro, on some real shit. Like, I feel like you over here trying to like price me on some shit.
I'm
You
not
know what
trying
I'm
to price you at all.
saying? But I'm
just
saying,
telling you,
I feel you got a sister. I
We
got a
heard you the
sister,
first
too.
time you said it, though.
I
You
feel
keep
you,
saying
though.
it. You
I
feel
feel
me?
you.
And he
Right, right, right.
apologized.
No,
It don't
listen,
matter.
listen,
You talking to
bro.
me,
I
talking to
respect
me.
it. Like I'm saying, like.
Okay.
No, I'm not trying to. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. It's cool. Like it's good. It's good.
For
We
sure.
heard him the first time.
Just the streaming shit. Yeah, that's cool, bro. But some people don't take that.
Nah, it's cool. Nah, dead ass. If she would have told me on some shit like, oh, whatever, I would have.
She
You
was
know.
on her mom.
Nah, I feel that.
Her mom said the same shit.
Okay, nah, it's
She
cool. If
said
she
it.
would have told me that,
She
then
should
it's.
have, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Nah,
now
she
you
told-
coming up with you mean? She should have. You coming up here saying it's disrespectful. We heard you the first
Nah, I
time. So
feel
do
you.
you
I
want to
feel you.
apologize
It's
or not
good.
so we can keep it moving?
He just
Let's get it logical.
apologized to me,
Exactly. You're
okay?
still standing here,
You're
baby.
sitting here talking
But hold on,
You're
bro.
still
There's no butter.
standing
It's you and me, bro.
Exactly,
It's you and me, bro.
exactly.
Don't.
We straight. We straight.
You're still
But it's cool. We
standing
good.
here.
Just keep.
We good. It's
focus
good.
steady, you
It's
feel me?
good.
Let me play the apology really quickly.
Everything that happened from that clip. Now, let me say this to the girl. I don't know your name or I don't know anything, but I'm deeply sorry for how that went about, and even me just saying that. I definitely shouldn't have said that to you, definitely. And I just feel like, especially you being on the phone with your mom, and I just knowing how people, sometimes some pranks can be taken too far and shit like that. But I just, I didn't think much of it. I was just, we was a little late. I was just trying to do shit for the stream or whatever. And sometimes, some people some people are not just meant for the camera. Some people don't want that. Some people don't want to be able to or they don't got time for games. And I respect that. So I shouldn't have said that to you. And I deeply apologize for it. And I'm sorry that your mom had to hear that. I'm sorry that your brother had to hear. I'm sorry that your family probably has seen that. And deeply, I am sorry though. For real, I haven't got a chance to talk to her or anything. I haven't been in communication with her or anything. But as soon as I seen that, it was kind of uncomfortable. As she said, I moved on from it. And her brother, listen, I feel like her brother, I feel like her brother, you know, did anything as any brother would do. You know what I'm saying? It could have went way more left, and it could have went way more left into like all different type of shit, and it didn't though. You know what I'm saying? By the grace of God, I feel like that if that was my sister and somebody said that to my sister, even joking or not, like there would have to be a conversation for sure. And I heard it, so you know what I'm saying? I don't want, it's not too bad or anything like that. Like trying to like, I'm not trying to be on some like whatever shit. Like, you know, he did what he was supposed to do as a bigger brother for his little sister.
So I have a lot of thoughts because I feel like Deshae he's always been like on a teetering scale when it comes to like you doing too much, right? So I'm gonna touch on the first video that we saw when he approached that girl at Target. Not everything is a prank. Not everything is funny. And that's coming from someone who finds a lot of things funny, but that is not funny. You don't walk up to nobody in public, say, bitch, I'ma fuck the shit out of you. What?
No shade. I've seen things go left for way less.
Exactly. I'm like, and my whole thing is, I'm like, he caught the right person. Because I can't imagine if that was Shayla or I. I'm like, mind you, we're in the electronics section. Everything would have been flying. Who are you talking to? And then to double down, and you said it twice. You didn't just say it once. You said it twice, right? And then so I saw some people like originally when the first part of the video came out, like everybody was like, oh, when the brother came, like started talking, like some people were literally saying that he was doing too much. I'm like, y'all have never and I said this in past episodes, y'all have never had people who will stand 10 toes behind you. And it shows. Like you cannot see somebody defend their sister and y'all sit there and be like, he was doing too much. And it's clear, like, he got the right brother too. Because you could tell, like, he was trying to keep himself calm when he was addressing.
He was very respectful.
Real respectful, trying to keep it calm, trying to keep it cool, calm, and cute, right? There's some people who would have crashed out off rip. There would have been some people, it wouldn't have been no questions asked. It wouldn't have been no statement given. It would have gave straight hands on deck. Right? So you caught the right girl, 1. You caught the right brother, 2. And 3, your apology was completely trash. Sir, you talk about, you know what I'm saying? And to her brother, sir, you're not apologetic. Like, it does not give that. You're mad because of the backlash you got. You're not apologetic because you feel bad about it. You're apologetic because you saw you got banned. You saw that how many people were literally turning their backs on you and how many people were not supporting you because they thought that prank was childish. Like, that's what you apologizing for. You're apologizing for the backlash, not because you actually feel bad. And Ekane is a popular, like, TikToker. She is popular for like doing like her own little, like, she could do her hair real cute and stuff, but also because she's in a toxic relationship with this dude that's her baby daddy who literally be putting her hands on him. No, she be putting her hands on him and he be putting her hands on her. His name is Chris. So they got like a whole toxic relationship that everybody always sees on TikTok. So it's like, for you, when the brother is addressing Deshae, who has something to say to his sister, you talk about some relax. Okay, but you talking to him like da-da-da-da, like you want us to say sorry to you. Why are you talking? Like, that was such a weird prank, and you have a daughter. If somebody walked up to your daughter like that, I could already see how you start tweaking out, how you start turning up. That is somebody's daughter.
Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. Social media is a great place, amazing, but the things and the lengths that people go to for likes and clicks is out of this world. Like, at some point, like, you know how we say social media is not real life? This is a perfect example. Social media is not real life. You caught the right one. I've seen punches swung just for you speeding in my regular street because this is not a parkway. So if you know what I'm saying, like, the brother was so nice about it. He was just being respectful. Like, you know, and he literally said, listen, you can't just be going up to people and saying that type of stuff. And regardless if she was on the phone with her mother, even if she wasn't on the phone, you don't approach people and say stuff like that. And if you do approach people and say stuff like that, you should 1,000% be ready for whatever comes next. Like, you are so big and bad with all these curse words and disrespecting this woman, but then now you want to be a little guy. Now you don't want to be the big dog that you was when you was trying to curse and disrespect this girl. Nah, keep the same energy.
Exactly.
And also, I do want to mention how he was like in the apology, like, oh, I wouldn't want that being said to my sister. Exactly. So I'm a big I really believe in reciprocal energy. If you would not want that to be done to you or your family member, why would you do it to somebody else? Because not everything is a joke. Yes, you think it's funny, it's cute. So be ready for what comes next. Because she could have easily punched and swung and it would have been good. Because why would you come to me like that?
Exactly. So like basically the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because one, it is trending right now and everybody's sharing their opinions and everything like that. But it's like I need people to understand, like Shayla said, social media is not real. The way that you think you can act on social media, there could be real life consequences, and you caught the right one. Like, remember that you caught the right one. So if you ever try to do this again, be prepared to catch the wrong one or the right one in that situation. Like,
right. So that's that on that. Comment down below how you would feel if someone came to you at your local convenience store on some, because you know we not on the Target way, on some vibe like that. What he said.
Yes, and if you're a man, how would you feel if somebody did that to your aunt, sister, cousin, anything?
Anybody that you hear about. So another announcement that happened this week is that SKIMS and Nike are joining forces to create a fitness brand called NikeSKIMS. They're saying the new brand will offer an extensive line of training apparel, footwear, and accessories designed to meet the unique needs and preferences of women athletes around the world. This is like their what the logo looks like, NikeSKIMS. I have never bought anything from SKIMS. It does look pretty cute, but I don't know. I'm not on the Kardashian train. I know a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't matter that they were born into money. Like, they really do work hard. Da 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 da. SKIMS doesn't move me. Yeah, it's cute. I see the stuff, but y'all know I'm a cheap girl, so I get all my stuff from TJX companies, honey. So if a skim, you know, if a skim piece make it to TJ Maxx or Marshalls, that's how I will be a fan, a purchase item.
And when I saw that, like, we've talked about this in the past, like, I don't know, when it comes to like certain brands and stuff like that, like certain things just don't move me. And I feel like SKIMS is one of those things. Like, I have friends who love SKIMS and like feel like, oh, like it's the best sets in the world and stuff like that, which is cool, great, calm, cool, collected. It's just not for me. I mean, I am a Nike girl. I do got a bunch of sneakers and stuff like that. When the stuff drops, like, will I take a look? Yes. But to say like I'm really gonna sit there and purchase it, I don't think so. I don't see myself doing that unless like Shayla said, unless I see like go someplace and they're on sale and like I might like how it look, I might purchase it. But to sit there and say like I'm gonna go out of my way, like, oh my God, when this drops, I need to be there. No.
Yeah, I just think, again, there's been like reportings of like, oh, Nike sales are going down or like they're not the it thing anymore, which I feel like Nike is still one of the top athletic wear brands. But okay, if you know, money talks. So if money says otherwise, then okay. I don't know. I feel like this was an opportunity that Nike could have done to kind of merge with somebody that, again, just someone else that's different, right? It's like when these big corporations just come together. But at the end of the day, I do understand that it is a business. And if the whole point is that you're not doing too well, you want to join forces with a company that is doing well. And that is SKIMS, whether you like it or not. So good luck to them. And we'll see. I think the first drop is supposed to be during the spring. And then they will expand globally in 2026. The last point I wanted to talk about is this week also, Paquita La Del Barrio, who is a very well-known Mexican singer, passed away at the age of, I believe, 77. And if you were raised in a Latino community, you 1,000% have listened to Paquita La Del Barrio. And she was very well known for like women empowerment, right? Like, I know how you were talking about Cardi B. So a lot of her songs would be dragging men. Like, she has one of the songs is called like Rat with Two Legs, and she's kind of talking about like men, right, and how they would cheat and stuff like that. And so it's especially if you know in the Latino community, machismo is a very big thing. So she was kind of one of those artists that kind of flipped it in a sense. And it's like, no, we like the women have the pants, and all of her music would be like, you know, like you should be respecting me and you should da 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 da. So, you know, rest in peace to her. She will no longer be on this earth, but her music will live on forever. And, you know, I will always have a soft spot for her and her music. If you haven't listened to her, I think you should, especially if you're into like Latino music or Spanish music, you'll like it.
When I saw like, because I didn't know who she was. So when I saw like basically all these different like people that I saw post to her, I was like, I'm gonna wait till the podcast to be like, Shayla, who is she? Like everybody posted her. But from what I'm hearing you said, like, go ahead, sis. Like, rest in peace, and your music lives on for sure.
Period. So now let's get into our very short but important sports corner.
Tell him this, did he miss? Junior want to not be on my
Y'all, let's get into our sports corner. So, as women who enjoy sports, who like to talk about sports, let's be the women in sports. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about, this past week, there was the NBA All-Star Games that happened. And if you know, in past episodes, we talked about, you know, how there's been a lot of like backlash to past All-Star Games because like they've literally been trashed. Like they really don't be doing much for you, right? So, the NBA introduced like a new format for the All-Star game. So before it used to be East and West versus each other, but this year what they did, because this is going to be TNT's last time hosting the NBA All-Star game too as well. They had, if you watch, what's the name of their show? Inside the NBA?
Inside Crew, Inside something with the crew.
So it's basically Ernie, Kenny, Charles Barkley, and Shaq. Those four make up Inside the NBA. And so what they did was they all create, also Candace Parker. Candace Parker was also included in there as well. So what they did, Ernie didn't select the team. It was Candace, Candace, Kenny, Shaq, and Charles Barkley. So they all created their own team that was going to verse each other. So it was, I'm not going to sit there and recite to you the whole like teams that played and everything like that. But basically this new format, like at first, like Shayla told me she wasn't watching it. So I texted Shayla. I was like, it seems like it's going to be a little good. But as it went on, it literally was there for background noise. Like it was trash. Like
the only good thing that came about this was the college student that won $100K. I heard he was versing Damian Lillard with like, you know, making shots from, you know, far away, and he won $100K. So I'm happy that individual got his money worth, because, and even like I follow this big reporter. I'm a Celtics girl. So I follow Noah, who's like our reporter. She does a lot of our coverage. And so she was talking about like how the seats weren't even completely full. And I think if you already know that your product sucks or is not at an all-time high, why would you not lower the prices? Again, like sometimes just the room being filled could switch the energy and make the players want to, you know, do more, because no one is going to spend $800 on a ticket to see these players have AWS. At the end of the day, like we work really hard for our money. So I'm not going to spend a rack to see these players. You know, I get it. It's All-Star weekend. Their whole goal is to win championships and do all of that. But like, if you as a whoever is in charge of that knows this, you should lower the tickets to make it more affordable for other people, for more people to go in. Because I'm sure San Francisco is a very expensive place to fly in and to stay in. And then on top of that, you got these very expensive tickets to get in, to make it in.
And my thing is, so like with All-Star Weekend, it has like a bunch of things. Like you have the Rising Stars Challenge, you have that 3-point challenge, you have the dunking competition and everything like that. And while I will say the person who I expected to win the dunking competition definitely won the dunking competition. All his dunks were literally all 50s, like
He's
all
been carrying it for like the what, 2-3
last
years?
2 years. Like I believe it's the last 2 or 3 years. Like he has
Mhm.
been doing his thing. And my thing is, right, and I've been talking about this with a lot of people, when it comes to the dunking competition, it's not exciting anymore because one, it's potential that the stars that they are selecting are saying no and saying like, no, I don't want to do this. But they're getting people who are great in-game dunkers. And thinking that there is they have this ability for creativity to make creative dunks. Some people are just that great in game dunkers, but there's not a level of the creativity. And I'm like, what's his name? His name was Matt McCullum, I think it is. McCullum, I believe it is. No shade. Like, listen, I love you down, my boy. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but like, literally all his dunks were creative. Like everyone, I was stunned. Everyone in there was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this. Like, and he's in the NBA and the man, I think he like averages 1 point a game. Like
well, because to be fair, they don't play him. He plays more in the G League. But to your point, I don't think at the end of the day, like as a business, if the star players don't want to be a part of it, you also need people that want to be, right? Like I don't think they force people to be a part of it. They're like, whoever wants to join in, do it. And of course, if these are the 4 people that want to do it, I'm not going to tell them no because I need somebody to participate in this contest.
Yeah.
So
I think also my last point is I think they just need to get rid of the NBA All-Star games and in its entirety, because one, it's not being taken seriously. It's boring. There's no way that y'all are making it more fun. Like y'all tried to do this new format, and even Draymond Green said y'all are giving people an opportunity to basically play in the All-Star games when some people had to literally work their behinds off to even be considered and voted in. Like it's losing what it initially was. And it's like, I feel like there's no way that y'all are going to bring it back.
Yeah, I think until they don't start seeing like money loss, they're gonna continue to do it. Cause like I've said in every episode, money talks.
Yep.
So next, Wemby is out for the season. If you don't know, he's the Spurs center, the real tall guy that's very, you know, he been blocking people just simply by standing up. So it was found that he was diagnosed with a blood clot in his right shoulder. And so we wish him the best of luck. I think how he found out is because, you know, this is very important. Always listen to your body. Nobody knows you more than you. He was like, my energy is lower than usual. You know what I'm saying? And like they listened to that and they did some tests and it came out that he has a blood clot in his right shoulder and now he's going to be out for the season. If you're not familiar with the Spurs, he is like the star player. He was the number 1 pick in the draft. And, you know, everybody, he's like you got a must-see talent. So
but I will say the Spurs played the Phoenix Suns yesterday and the Spurs beat the Phoenix Suns. So
well, yeah, because they just traded for the Kings star player. What's his name?
De'Aaron Fox.
Right. So they definitely have another star. Like that trade was made right on time, honey, because they have someone that can, obviously you're never going to replace him, but
because he's an asset at the end of the day. He's like their biggest asset.
So the last story we want to talk about is Bobby Portis, honey. Oh my God. This is actually a very sad story. So if you don't know Bobby Portis, he plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's him on the left. So he has been suspended, you guys, for 25 games without pay because, according to reports, his assistant messed up one of his pain medications, and it turned out that the medication that the assistant actually gave to him is a medication that is banned from the league. My question is this too much? 25 game suspension for a pill?
I absolutely do think, like, yes, I understand there's drug protocols and stuff like that. Like, I see that. I know that the NBA is somewhat strict with that, but it's just like, to me, what bothered me the most about it is the fact that, like, you are going to suspend this man for 25 games, but there's players, NBA players, that are literally beating their wives on camera and they don't even get suspended at all. It's like, where do you put your priorities? like it, regardless if this was a mistake and it is true or whatever like that, like that's not his fault. It's not like he went out of his way to say like, oh, I'm gonna do this drug because they not gonna catch me. That's not what was happening here. Like if his assistant made the mess up, first of all, you will be fired. You will be fired. I don't know.
No shade. I'm gonna have to let you go. I have to. I'm so sorry. Like I know you didn't mean to, and you are all the sorries in the world. You could write me a note, buy me a car. I was suspended 25 games. And it's so suck because we're humans and we make mistakes. But like Rebecca mentioned, I think at the end of the day, the league is trying to send a message. I think, like Rebecca said, you have people in the league that have done actual big major things and you've let them off on a hook. So, okay, yes, if you want to be very strict on your drug policies, we're not going to tolerate it. I think at least 5 games, like, okay, you send your message, you know that we don't tolerate that. 25 games is a whole lot. And also, Bobby Portis isn't known to be that problematic athlete. Now, no tea, no shade. The Draymonds, the John Morans, they already have a history. So you know that they need to be on their P's and Q's, right? Because they've been held to, unfortunately, they're held to a different standard because they've already been penalized before for the stuff that they have going on. And Bobby Portis is not known for this to be like a reoccurring thing that he be using these drugs that are not acceptable in the league.
And the thing is, like, we want to make sure we preface this by saying, like, this isn't like crack cocaine or heroin or nothing like that. This is like regular like tablet pill
painkiller.
Like I'm like, yeah, listen, I hate this for him and I hope they do reconsider their decision. I don't think they are, but it's like the NBA, you can't pick and choose when you want to stand firm on something and then other things you just let slide under the radar and go with the flow with the situation.
Strong painkiller, domestic abuse. I think domestic abuse should triumph all of that. But listen, I'm not leading a league, to each their own. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are new, actually, even if you're not new, comment down below. You guys, shout out to the viewer that actually commented yellow and pink hearts. This week, I'm choosing the color purple for hearts. What color?
Okay, I'm gonna choose red.
All right, so purple and red hearts in the comments if you made it to the end. Make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Like and follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at Too Much SB, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.